What's going on, everybody? This is Tony, one half of Three Tone Digital. Feels a little weird to be doing this solo, but we're on vacation and I'm going to just restream an older, I think the third broadcast of our live streams, so we don't break our streak. This is going to be about video JSON schema. I am here. If you have any questions, I could pull Raina in. So I'm going to play this. I'm going to go to the side for a little bit and then disappear. But again, here, it's back on. Turn off the music. Fade it out on the ones and twos. Hopefully everybody's having a great weekend. There we go. And it's beautiful weather out there. I don't know where you are, but on the East Coast, chef's kiss. It's beautiful here. So hopefully you are enjoying your weekend and you have June 15th. Tomorrow's Raina's birthday. If you want to write Three Tone Digital and say happy birthday, then go forth and do so. Here we go. Let me put this. There we go. So it's about video JSON schema. And again, I'm right here. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. The floor is open. Too high. There we go. It's better. What's up, everybody?
Welcome. Hey, guys.
Welcome to number 3 of Three Tone Digital's live streams. We're going to make it to 7. That's our goal. 7 streak. And discuss something in our field, technical stuff, web development, web design, marketing, digital marketing, anything that comes to mind that we see as helpful. So let's get on it. Raina, you want to introduce the show today?
Sure. So this morning we woke up, we had an eventful day today. There was a chamber event, a business class that we attended, which was really, really interesting. It was about LinkedIn and staying human on LinkedIn, which I think is a very timely topic right now, especially with so much AI content being thrown at us, especially on LinkedIn. We just kind of wanted to attend and learn something new and start just improving our own LinkedIn profiles. So
yeah, and that's why I'm dressed up. I have a t-shirt on. That'll look presentable once we leave the house. I mean, we'll talk about it a little. It's funny because we didn't turn off the audio until too late. So there's a whole lo-fi theme going on. Let me turn this back on as we're talking about our attire. And teaching people education-wise is a really important part of LinkedIn. So we did come up with some good tactics that we can discuss here, and we'll probably have a later stream discussing LinkedIn tactics once we see that we're successful or unsuccessful in our own tactics. So we'll get back to that after.
Is the music still on?
Is the music on?
Yeah.
We're just grooving.
I know, I'm like hearing like light music in the background, like background music.
Now you can hear us. We were just freestyling, actually. If you listen to it back, maybe it'll be on beat. So today we're going to be going over something that Raina found on an email. It was JSON schema for videos.
Yeah, it was actually from Search Engine Journal. It was a new article that came out that is talking about your websites and use of CDN and some of the things to look out for, especially if you have video on your website, that sometimes the CDN URLs can cause issues with Google indexing and kind of block those. And then you'll get those errors from Google saying that your video couldn't be indexed. So we're just going to pull up the article and kind of go through it and show you a live demo of how to add the structured data to your website using Three-Tone Digital as an example.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm going to share our screen here. I'm going to see the actual article. So it says Google case study, not that you can't read, but Google case study shows an importance of structured data. And what that's saying, like Rana said, on the other side of it, yes, if you have errors, it's bad. But if you have the JSON schema there, which is pretty much just code, and we'll show you that in a second, it boosts, it improves the visibility of the web page, telling Google, there's a video on this page. Here's what the video is about. So whether they're on the video tab when they're searching, and again, let's not concentrate just on Google, but Bing, Yandex, anything that's out there really, you're able to say to those search engines, this is a video, this is how long it is, here's the thumbnail, here's what it's about, to improve your chances of being found, whether they're looking for the blog or whatever page it's on, or just via the video and the content of the video. It actually uses, which I just found, which we didn't do, but it uses transcripts. So you can put in the transcript of your video, which also gets indexed, which is like really cool because that's all the words that you're talking in these videos can also be added to the Google juice, the Bing juice, whatever juice you want. So let me just go over this tab here and scroll down. So what this is saying, TLDR, is that this company did a study and they are web, I don't know what they do actually, but they have videos on the website. And they found a few things that if they use expiring URLs, which is more related to a CDN, and I'll show you that in a second.
And examples of CDNs like Cloudflare, which is a common CDN, and a lot of you would use this really for page speed, having your website come up quicker, and things like that. So you think, okay, I'm using a CDN for optimization purposes and things like that. But this is an example of something that you need to know, especially if you have videos on your website.
Yeah, hosting videos on the website is possible, but you're adding, their videos are big. In this video that I'm about to show you, which is our live stream from yesterday, uncompressed, it's 800 megabytes, which is humongous. And then compressed using Handbrake, which is a local app that is free, is 100 megabytes. And even at that megabyte standard, it should be hosted somewhere else. So CDN stands for Content Delivery Network, which pretty much says there's a file here, and wherever you access it from on a browser, it'll find the closest location. So if I'm in California, it's going to use a California database or server really to say, here's the video, because it doesn't have to travel across the country. And even though you don't think traveling across the country for data is slow, it actually, the further you are and across the sea, the slower it is. So you always want the person viewing it to have the closest location for the data to stream from. So that's usually a lesson on CDNs, I guess. But it says a couple things. Do not use expiring URLs, which makes sense because Google is saying, well, this URL is going to expire, so I don't care about it as much. So you just want a public basic URL, whether you're using, YouTube doesn't do expiring URLs, but CDNs such as Cloudflare do expiring URLs. And use a single unique stable URL for each video, which just means use that same URL. If you go through this, there's a lot of information here that isn't very necessary, but it's pretty much saying use structured data. And that means instead of just dropping the video with the video tag on the website, which we'll show you in a second, use this other script. It's JSON data, which is pretty much a format that search engines can use to say, like we said in the beginning, what this video is about, how long the video is, where it's hosted, etc. So before I show the code, do you want to say anything else about those?
I think you covered most of it. I would just say that the JSON structured data is exactly what Google bots need and is a faster way to communicate what's on the page. So you're giving Google what they want.
Yep.
You're more likely to get indexed if you apply this to your website.
Yeah, and indexed in all different sorts of places, like the video tab or rich data, rich text. It's at the top of Google, like the cards. That's
the snippets.
Yeah, snippets. So I'm gonna drop over to CodePen, which is a really cool website that you can test code on and just put it there just to see if it works, or even just have an editor. Personally, we use local things like VS Code, Visual Studio Code, Atom, Sublime, not really anymore. But this code at the top is what Cloudflare gives you when you upload a video. It's saying, here's the code that you can drop on a website, anything that can accept HTML. And it's pretty simple. We don't have to go over this part piece by piece, but it's pretty much saying it's an iframe. And the source of the iframe is such, and that's what Cloudflare gives you. You don't have to write any of this yourself, but you can see little things in here like the start time, the title of the video. And again, this is all great for SEO. Even the primary color, which was interesting. Loading lazy, which means it's a lazy load, means it doesn't load before the person gets to it in their viewport of the browser. There's some styles associated with it, which pretty much says have it as big as possible inside of the iframe. And allows are just different arguments that you can pass in. You can say it's muted, you can have it autoplay, you can have it able to access mobile, and we have allow full screen true, which allows the user to set. Let me put this in full screen. So that's the code that they give you. It was really unmodified. But the second part, which this is about, and which this article is about right here, is the JSON schema that doesn't come along with. If you put a video on your website, you're not going to get this part. If you put it on Cloudflare, you're not going to get this part either. This is the part that Google cares about. So inside of here, it's a script. It's easily, I don't have the tab open. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, I have it right here. So there's actually a generator you can use, or if you do it by hand, that's fine too, where you drop it in the name, description, the upload date, the duration, the URLs, and the target URL. That would be where the video is hosted. So the main URL, the base URL, or a blog, or whatever page. And then a thumbnail, which has to be a hosted image of the video that shows as a placeholder. So using something like this generator, you come something like this, and it's going to give you, say, this is schema, it is a video, the name of the video is such, the description, I don't know why I said as is such, sounds like a very old way to say it. The name of the video is this, the description, thumbnail URL, which is a hosted image. You can see here, ours is hosted on 3-Tone Digital inside the media library, an upload date, which has to be formatted in this format. Duration is pretty much saying 34 minutes and 54 seconds. We have a content URL, which is what Cloudflare gives you. And doing this right here, you're able to test it in something like Google Search Tester, in a Google Search JSON tester. You can search by URL, so you can enter your URL here, or you can just do code snippet that you're looking to test. And I pasted the code from the code pen inside of here. I'm going to test it out.
And you always want to make sure that you test any structured data before you put it on the page, because if not, it will be an error. It will show on the front end, and it wouldn't help you in any way if it's incorrectly placed.
Yep, exactly. So you can see here, there's one valid item just because there is only one item that's being tested. And that's great. If there's any errors, you can always drop this down. It's going to show them with great detail and links to how to fix it. Like earlier when I did it, using this schema, if you see the date here, obviously it's not 1969, but it gives you a year, month, day, which is not correct. And Google told me that. It said, no, that's not right. You have to have it in this format, which I forget the name, but it's a more official format. Unix? I think it's Unix. So once you verify that this is good, what we're going to do here is drop in both the iframe that was given to us from Cloudflare when I upload the video, and then the schema. And I'm going to put it onto our older WordPress versus Wix blog, which is a different blog than the stream. I guess we really feel strongly about it, or we have multiple things on our website right now. So I'm going to mix in the stream that we did yesterday into our older blog to keep things relevant. So,
yeah, we're just using the block editor, so it's going to look like this.
Yeah.
And to be able to just paste it in there. Tony's just going to show you.
Exactly. So let's put it right at the top.
It doesn't really matter what location you put it at, as long as it's surrounded correctly.
Exactly. So in WordPress, which is our thing, you would say custom HTML. You would drop it right inside of here. So I'm going to do two different ones. First one being the actual video. And we'll see that when we preview it. And then a second one doing the JSON code. Drop that in. Now, since it's surrounded in a script, you're not going to see it on the website. The HTML will show it on the back end if you view the source, but it's not something that shows to the user because the user wouldn't want to see something like that. So I'm going to update this post and preview it. You'll see here the video, which has a certain start time. That's why it's shown both of us. You can set that in Cloudflare if you use Cloudflare. And it is, and underneath, which is invisible, is the script tag. You can see that in here if you actually view the source. Right over here. And this is telling Google. So once we re-index this page, Google's going to know, okay, there's a video on this page. This is what it's about. And it's more apt to show anywhere else that people are looking, not just on a Google search or at least a web search, web tab of the Google search. So that's pretty much how it works. I didn't index this page yet because it's the example that we just did. That'll be the next step. I'll go to Search Console and the URL, which I can do. I'm not logged in on this browser. And it would say re-index this page, which tells Google, it doesn't tell Google you have to re-index this page. It suggests, it says, okay, when you're ready, doing everything else that you're doing with their bots, your spiders, come here and look at this and figure out what changed. And from there, I don't know what happens. The bot takes it back, spider takes it back to the index, and it becomes part of the search results all over the place.
So that's how you do the videos. You can do structured data for other things too. Reviews, your services page, your home page, anything, really any page you can put structured data. It will only help increase your visibility. So it is something, if you're not doing for your website, it would definitely be a recommendation to help improve your reach and your visibility on Google.
Yeah, and there's tons of different schemas to use. There's the video one, but there's one for local businesses, which we use. It pretty much says, what are your opening hours? What's the name of your business? What's the address? What's your price point? You know, when you search for a restaurant and you can search by how expensive is this? I don't want $4 signs. I want $1 sign. You can set those kind of details in there. Whether Google acknowledges it and uses it is up to Google. So it's not always, this is what I said, and Google will respect that. It doesn't happen that way. Most of the time it does, but Google does its own thing based on other factors, of course, too. So there's like local business. What else? There's images you can do. There's blog posts. Individual blog posts can have it. There's services. There's a whole plethora of it.
I think it's plethora.
Plethora. It's just a plethora, which sounds gross. Yeah, so I think JSON schema it's a really great thing to have on a site that adds invisible data that is very useful to search engines. And it is a thing that sometimes you forget because you make a site and you focus on the visible parts, you know, like what does it look like on mobile? What does it respond with? But the invisible parts behind it, the SEO, are just as important depending on the industry and the website, of course.
Yeah, it's becoming more of you have to have it. I think even a few years ago, not many people were implementing it, but we're seeing more articles and things like that. And if you're an SEO expert, then you definitely should be implementing this for your clients, because it just gives your site the boost it needs, and all the tools are out there. It's just a matter of implementing them and then making sure that you actually put on the site correctly. So but I would definitely recommend making sure to validate it and make sure it's correct before you put it in the HTML.
Yeah, and these videos that we've been doing, I've been putting them on our website. So you could always go to threetonedigital.com/blog or just threetonedigital.com. And on the page that we have, this will be a new post, and I'll put the links in there to the video, the schema markup generator, and also the tester. And also CodePen. You can use CodePen. It's awesome, free mostly, unless you want the premium. Awesome tool to just test things out without having to have things running on your machine. You can even do it on a phone, which is really cool. Kind of small, but it works. Yeah, so I mean, want to talk about LinkedIn?
Yeah, let's go back to our class we went to. So I learned some stuff. I didn't really realize that, well, some stats just off the bat, that if users who end up on your profile, your LinkedIn profile, about 50% will go to your website. So if you don't have a website, that's something to think about. And if you do, making sure that your website and your homepage is optimized properly. But just staying on the LinkedIn profile part, it definitely gave me some food for thought on just going through the about section, the headline, and making sure to have that updated and optimized and have it really reflect us. Because I know many people, and I know I'm kind of guilty of it too. You set up a headline, you set up an about, and you just like never look at it again. And even certain parts, sections like featured, make sure it relates to what you're working on today. So we have a lot of homework to do for our own profiles. I know we left the class and we were like super motivated and we're like, we need to optimize our LinkedIn profile. We need new pictures. And one thing that I love about these classes that the Chamber provides is they do give you real tips and real action items that you can implement today and start working on. And yeah, we're web designers and developers. We're small businesses, but it's helpful for anybody, regardless of what you use LinkedIn for.
Yeah, I went in there thinking this is not going to be helpful because I always see LinkedIn as I had a job and here are the coworkers I worked with, refer me for the next job once I get laid off or quit, you know. But it's essential if you think about it. It's different than Facebook and Twitter in the sense of we're all supposed to be at least talking about work and your skills and your experience, you know. So when somebody's out there and they're looking for a web person, it doesn't matter if you work for a company or you don't, you're still showing your own skills. So one of the tips that I thought was really, should we give these free tips away?
Yeah, let's do it.
The guy said, his name Bill.
Bill.
Yeah, Bill said, he runs a company that.
Shout out to Bill.
Shout out. I'll probably view this. We actually connected with him on LinkedIn. He might be watching this now. What's up, Bill? So sorry we're giving away your information. One of the things that he said that was interesting is like for content, use the stuff that clients email you and ask you. You know, all day I get emails. How do you do? Well, hopefully not all day, but sometimes in the middle of the day I'll get an email from a client. How do you do this? That's a great opportunity to use that as a post on LinkedIn to say, well, here's how you do it, everybody. Because there are like acts of content. I do feel like you can always sell yourself, and there's a lot of fluff, dog and pony show, you know. But if you're actually doing some good, you will come across, you should at least, as an expert in your field, which is what we all want, no matter what field you're in. Lawyers, doctors, I guess. I don't know about doctors on LinkedIn, I guess. Like, oh, that's how you do surgery.
Yeah.
But especially like the tech people like us, there's a lot of stuff out there that, of course, normal people who aren't into this, who aren't geeks and nerds, they don't know, you know, but there is essential stuff that is out there that we can teach, and it does feel good to teach. I always wanted to be a music teacher, but maybe this is my lane, just to teach technical stuff, you know, because it is what I love and it is what we're good at too. So I think like just for me, it was a very helpful class. It got better as it went on. At first, I was like, "Oh no, I know all this stuff already." But the tips and the tricks that you said, like that, using the content. What was another one?
Well, one that stood out to me was the develop a system and be consistent. I think we can all say that when the workload or the projects are a little low, we're more on LinkedIn. But when we get caught up in like the day to day, busy with client projects and things like that, we aren't as frequent when it comes to posting. But for it to really work for you and your business, you have to be consistent. And that's something that I think we're going to work on, developing a system, what our system's going to be, and sticking to it, and then being able to look at it, 6 months, even a year, and say, okay, we did follow the system. These were the results, and coming up with their own levels of success. Because a big thing is like impressions, like your own benchmark metrics. Like just because somebody sees it, right, doesn't mean they're impressed by it, by your profile. That was actually his example, Bill. It really hit me when he said that. I think he gave an example about driving down a road, and you drive by the same house, and you're in your car, you're driving, but you don't notice it, and you're not impressed by it because you're not engaging, or you're not stopping and taking a look at it. So until you get those comments or actual interactions with what you're posting about, that is a success. So determining what success looks like for us. And I think for us, it would really be a comment or something, like just comment on anything we post, or have the conversation, and engaging in that is really worthwhile for anybody who posts anything. So those are my takeaways from the class. So
yeah, I thought it was informative. We do some more work on LinkedIn, and really, we actually went home and updated our photos right away to make them more cohesive. Or brick wall is behind us. You can go check them out. We're streaming on LinkedIn, but if you're not on LinkedIn, you can always go to linkedin.com/in/Chickaroni. That one's mine. I think yours is Raina-Chickaroni. Or you can go to our website and click through. But we'll be incrementally improving our profiles to become more experts in the field, rather than that typical LinkedIn, like here's my experience and here's what I did for work. Because it's really, that's great, that's the last step of the user journey. Like, okay, let me see what this person did. But really, they want to be impressed. Like Rana said, like just scrolling by, it doesn't do the job. Who cares? They scroll by, you have 50,000 impressions and one comment. They need to learn something and see you as that person, whatever field it might be.
Yeah, definitely, to build that credibility and add that value to somebody. If we can talk and you guys learn something from what we're saying, then that's a win for me.
Yeah.
For us.
No, just you, actually. No, I'm just kidding.
Just for me.
We want to teach. So yeah, I mean, we're gonna keep going the next few days. This is day 3. We're gonna figure out tomorrow's topic. I know Rana has a list of things. We'll see which one comes up first. And we'll just keep going with this. So do you have anything?
I think it's my end of
Rana's
what is it? What do we call it?
Something words, like your words of wisdom.
Yeah, I think it was like the end. the ending word of the day, the word of the day. So my word today would be to create those lean in moments. And that's what I learned from, I was inspired from the LinkedIn class. Because when we learn something, right, like you're looking at your computer and you learn something new, you usually kind of lean in and we're like, oh, I didn't realize that, So create those lean in moments for your customers. And that's kind of what we're striving to do with going live and educating and doing classes, is to teach new things that we're learning as they come, and also to really dissect any recent news articles out there and kind of just dissect it live with you guys and answer any questions that you might have. So
Yeah, and just to say, we keep saying Bill, but Bill is with Digi Sales, Digi dash Sales, and
Yeah.
that's Bill McCormick, like the herbs, McCormick.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. We
I
have
don't.
we have a lot of those herbs in our
Yeah, yeah.
cabinet.
Maybe he's
Related?
maybe. Oh, he did have a little bit of spice. All
Oh, boy.
right. Well, on
Oh
that note,
no.
we hope you have
Okay.
a great day, and
We'll be back tomorrow with more tips and random talk.
talk. We should do it in the morning tomorrow, though. Like
Yeah,
the
we'll shoot
latte,
for the morning.
latte and tea time. Cheers.
All right. Bye, everyone.
I didn't play out with music that time. I just played in too long. I wrote a card for Raina from Three Tone Digital. I have another card too. It says, "Thank you for your employment." It's a coupon. It says, "Dearest employee name," because the variable was never filled in. It's one of those systems. We here at Three Tone Digital appreciate it. Employee role is a very important part of the ecosystem. This coupon is good for 1 day off and 2 hours of PTO. It's a pretty good deal. Please note, you are required to use this coupon within 45 days of your birthday. Regretfully, management of Three Tone Digital. So that's not from me, that's from the company. But I did write a letter, and hopefully she enjoys her gift, which I tried to give her tonight. I would say what it is, but she might tune in. Right? Anyways, I don't think these nighttime ones work, but at least I got something out there. We can say this is pretty much day 13, so the unlucky day. I get it. So happy 13th live stream. Happy birthday to my beautiful, lovely wife, Raina, tomorrow. We'll go live? Question mark. Hopefully. You know how birthdays and parties and stuff go, so let me hide that. Have a great weekend again, and thanks for tuning in if you did, but at least it's in the book.